Yeah. You guys know what it is. Yep. Alright, week 2, breakdown. Here we go. Let's see here. We got me versus E. I'm just going to hop right into this. I'm going to try to fly through this. Okay, so basically my idea here was I wasn't going to let him get sticky webs up. So I was just going to keep magic coding until he ended up doing something. He was playing it smart. He called my mirror coat, or magic coat, so he wasn't going to do anything to me. Other than just hurt me with a little infestation here, you know. I went for the Scald on that turn. Thankfully got the burn on Absol, that was pretty nice. But I figured it was time to start chipping down Chuckle. I could slack off at any point. Aggron's a good mid-ground here. Basically my endgame is get Sceptile to clean up, because looking at his team, I was like, man, Sceptile goes really hard here. Made a bad play here going into Slowking. Didn't really need to do that. I probably could have just stayed in with Aggron, because I ended up just sacking it to Mamoswine anyway. Yeah, then I go into Infernape here. I told you I wasn't going to pause, but I'm already pausing. At this point, I'm Focus Sash. I didn't know if he was actually Scarfed or not, based off that damage. I knew he was at least Adamant. So I just went for my rocks. He goes for Earthquake again, but I knew I was faster, so I was like, okay, well, he's just going to Ice Shard and pick me off. Well, he didn't. He just got his own rocks up, which was a little annoying, and then killed me with Knockoff afterwards. Little annoying, but it's alright. I can get Psychic Terrain up here and try to go for game now that I have rocks up. I knew that Zeraora, I needed 88% on it if it didn't have any investment to kill a Sceptile. So that was the plan. Get my screens up. I got Terrain Extender, so Ice Shard and Sucker Punch won't do anything to me. Get my Psychic Seed here. Get the light screen up. Does 12%. Spit F drop didn't matter at all. Here was interesting. I had to go for the SD to get the kill on Zera. I should have went for another SD right after that. That would have won me the game. But I was kind of scared of getting Encored and then getting stuck. So I just went for the Leaf Blade there, which ended up actually losing me the game. Because Zeraora was the bulkiest thing I've ever seen in my life, and only took 76% to that and killed me with Blaze Kick. And he got the webs up, and that was pretty much game. Freaking crazy. Yeah, GG's to E. I mean, he out-prepped me with a bulky Zeraora. I thought I had the game, and then, yeah, I just couldn't do anything from that point. Lele is going to die to Dazzling Gleam from 19%. And yeah, he was using Dazzling Gleam too, so it didn't even have to risk like a Focus Blast missing or something. So GG's to E. Very well done with the bulky Zeraora. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, Dodge versus Matt. The Matt versus Matt matchup. We got the lead Spikes Deoxys. I'm trying to remember what turn it was. Matt's been really feeling the Rain Dance on different mons. Oh, it was right here. Going for Spikes again once Kabutops came out. I think the next turn, you gotta have enough speed in your Deoxys to outspeed Kabutops in the rain. I'm pretty sure Deoxys can get there, and then would have been able to kill Kabutops. If that happened, you keep those rocks up, Kabutops doesn't end up being a problem later down in the game too. You know, you just invested all these hazards up, and then you weren't able to really do anything with it after. The switch out here, I mean, kind of makes sense. I don't remember what his set was on Garchomp, but, you know, Garchomp beats Chansey one-on-one. He lost the speed tie with Azu, because he wasn't running any speed in that against the Chansey. Standing on Scald, I guess that's fine. You're running out of water answers pretty quickly on your team, though, and as you can see, Mr. Fish is in, and Mr. Fish is a problem, because in the rain, Scarf Vicious Rend does 44% to a fat Azu, and obviously Deoxys isn't faster. And yeah, Mr. Fish. Crazy. But he had Scarf and DD, so really should have just went into Scarf and DD at any point just to be able to do this. Could have done that literally 3 mons earlier. But yeah, that's all right. I mean, Dodge understood his mistake, and you know, I don't really think that's going to happen again. I think Dodge built a good team with what he has. I just love the Indeedee and Deoxys synergy. Obviously, he didn't take advantage of it this game, but I really think this core is a really solid 6 mons on his team. I honestly don't know if I could build a better team than this. Maybe throw in Zygarde in there over Garchomp every now and then if I want a little bit more speed, but I mean, I really like that combo. But yeah, overall, I think if Dodge went into Scarf and Indeedee earlier, obviously messed all. Yeah, it's off screen right here. But yeah, Dodge said he forgot about the Scarf, and you know, if he did that earlier, if he went into Indeedee on Dracovish, it would have just looked like he was sacking it anyway, kind of like how he did with everything else. So he could have gotten rid of Dracovish. He still would have needed an answer for Ludicolo and Kabutops at that point, but the game obviously would have been a lot more manageable. So yeah, GG's the MJC, going from the 5-0 by Poltegeist to sweeping with Dracovish. Pretty solid. All right, Tyler versus Berg. I was talking to Berg about this before the game. I felt like Weezing was a really good lead into Tyler. Pretty much anything he brought other than Espeon as a lead, it would have been fine with, because of its fairy and fire coverage. Flamethrower covering Fortress. Tyler knows that Weezing's probably going to have Flamethrower, so good call switching out there. Yeah, at this point, you got to be worried about like Hidden Power Fire or something. But overall, like Scissor's a pretty good answer to Espeon. He ends up going into Regidrago to eat this Z move, which honestly is probably fine keeping health on Scissor. Comes back, Scarfed Crunch to knock out Espeon. That was awesome. And now here, after the Swords Dance, I mean, this is a tough call. You don't have a ton of pivots here. Your best option, I guess in theory, right, is to go Volcanion to scout the Fire Fang and then double into Weezing afterwards, and then try to break down Gliscor with Weezing. That's not easy to see in the moment, especially when you're a Steel Bug type and you're looking at Gliscor and you're like, well, he doesn't get Fire type moves. Now, Bullet Punching, I don't know if it was necessarily the right play there. Maybe SDing, you know, if you're calling that he doesn't have Fire Fang, but yeah. So now Berg bluffs Scarf Volcanion by going straight into it on Gliscor. At this point, if Tyler just stayed in and Earthquaked, he would have killed Volcanion, but he wasn't really going to risk that because he didn't know if he was running double Scarf with Regidrago and Volcanion. So, and then again, he Scarfed or Spec'd. He Choice Locked something onto his Kyurem. And he kind of got worried about the Earth Power and that he was going to go into Weezing, so he tried to call the switch and then went for the Psychic. Berg stays in, eats the Psychic, gets a good Flamethrower off. Now Kyurem has to switch out because it got burnt, which is pretty funny. Fortress comes out, and then Berg gets another 10% burn and knocks it out. Tyler was cussed at Berry Explosion on that. Kind of unfortunate there. Yeah, Weezing, good answer for Lopunny. So, like, at this point, Berg's in a good spot. He could have been in a better spot having Scissor alive for Mimikyu and Kyurem, right? Like, his team doesn't really appreciate those that much. He has to figure out a way to get rid of Mimikyu's Disguise in order to do anything here with Charizard. So, yeah, I mean, Weezing at this point can just throw off a Strange Team. It's got no issues with that. You see, that does a good chunk. And then he protected on the Swords Dance. And that, my friends, was game. The Corrosive Gas, I mean, obviously, that doesn't do anything because he was already poisoned, but, like, at this point, going for another Protect, I mean, that was pretty much it. You know, and then he should have went into Raikou, at least, at some point. My play, I think, in this position, with 68% on Volcanion, I would have gone probably Reggie Drago at this point, just to get some chip down. Yeah, I think Reggie Drago would have been the play at this point. Get some chip, go into Raikou, go for the Hidden Power Ice. Worst case scenario is you're getting chip on something or breaking Mimikyu's Disguise, and then you still have an option for a Charizard endgame, but yeah, then Berg just continually went into things that weren't Raikou. Yep, he went into all three Mons that were not Raikou. And then finally goes Raikou and gets the kill with HP Ice that he could have done 3 turns before. But it's all good. It's all good. Now here, Berg could have gotten one more kill if he went for the Volt Switch. Probably would have killed with a minus special defense, but it would have been cleaned up by like a Shadow Sneak for Mimikyu anyway. So good game to both of them. Berg played really well at first. Definitely still showing signs of improvement. Like, I mean, compared to last year, that definitely wasn't his worst game played. He just has to kind of understand his win cons a little bit clearer and how to find those switches. Like, I mean, it was kind of the same thing with the Dodge and MJC game where Dracovish started wrecking havoc and Dodge didn't find the right Mon until it was too late. So, that's pretty much all for that one. Going to Tommy versus Joe. Trying to remember how this went. Oh yeah, this little guy. Running Toxic Spikes on Boop. Love the nickname. Really, really good nickname. So cute. Crest, good Mew answer here. Miltank, always going to be a good Ferrothorn answer. It's got Heal Bell, it's got Sap Sipper, it's going to be all good. Let's see, he gets his rocks up here. Get a little chip with the body press, but he's got Milk Drink. He's not going to be too worried about it, especially with a Rocky helmet. Yeah, man, both body presses off of these guys are going crazy. Yeah, totally fine. Milk Drink there, just to kind of scout what Mew's doing. Like, you know, it's setting them hazards. It might be some sort of support Mon. It's got Flip Turn and Toxic Spikes. You don't really know what offensive moves it's going to have. Yeah, I mean, anything is fine on Joe's side other than Toxic Croak into Cresselia. Getting a Toxic down's fine, but you also know that he has Heal Bell, so I don't know. I mean, that is one of the best ways to start breaking down Cress. Let's see. At this point, I'm pretty sure Tommy attacked. No, okay, he was just scouting damage. But because he did that, he's able to live this after the toxic damage and everything, and he basically just eliminated Aerodactyl to just killing one Mon with that Dragon Dance, which is really huge, because looking at Joe's team, with a support Mew, you really only have Flygon and Toxicroak for offensive pressure, and Tommy lost one of his good defensive answers, but now he doesn't really need as many defensive answers. And now you confirm it's a very, very defensive Mew, Light Screen, Flip Turn, Toxic Spikes, and Soft Boiled, which also means Zygarde is untouchable by Mew, so he can get a substitute up and just start wrecking shop, because there's no Ditto, which means he can Dragon Dance. So, with Joe's team having Ditto, it's hard to put setup moves on stuff, because you never really want to click it when Ditto's out, but if Ditto's not there, or you somehow find a way to get rid of it, I mean, it's kind of open season. Because Joe's team is pretty passive, very, very defensive. So if you end up getting in on a defensive Mon, you get a substitute up or something, you do have an opportunity to set up. It's not super easy, but it will present itself at least once in the game. And yeah, here... Tommy didn't really have to keep going with all the Dragon Dances here. That was pretty unnecessary. I mean, he's going to kill everything with 1,000 arrows at this point. 39% Pharaoh, and yeah, it's going to go to work. So, like, once again, at +3, he did not need to... I mean, it clearly kills at 57. Like, didn't need to get the sub up or anything. But yeah, Scaly Boy coming in with the massive sweep here. I really wanted Zygarde, and I really just trashed my draft plan once I picked up Darmanitan at first. But yeah, I was really thinking about Zygarde. I think it's such a threat. And it can do so many things defensively, and obviously set up and Dragon Dance and kill people with 1,000 arrows because nothing's immune to it. It's crazy. But yeah, it was a good game overall. I think, like, if I was in Joe's shoes, I probably wouldn't have tried to set up as early with Aerodactyl. I would have tried to chip Cress a little bit. I mean, like, you go Toxicroak, and you kind of, like, get Cresselia to come in naturally. Kind of get some chip on it that way. Get some U-turns going with Flygon to be able to pivot around and stuff. You know, and it is tough with Urshifu, right? It says it's Fighting Dark on here, but that was Urshifu Rapid Strike, and Team Preview doesn't show that. You know, because the Aqua Jet is going to kill you from like 50%, so you can't really switch into rocks or anything. I don't know, maybe he was running Defog on Flygon. I don't know if he had any other hazard control. But yeah, any chip on Arrow gets pretty tough, so you gotta play that pretty carefully. But yeah, no, good games to everybody this week. EGGs, well played with the defensive Zeraora. Shout that guy out. But yeah, going on to the next week. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. Schedule. There we are. Alright, E versus Dodge, MJC versus Joe, Berg versus me, Tommy versus Ty. Good luck, everybody. See you out there. Peace.